So we're in Carnival Night Zone. You know, I never really... It's not only that I don't like the level design, I also don't like the music. I mean, oh yeah, I love these fast parts though. It has fast parts, but then... I mean, I even like these things. But then you get to the parts that slow you down. And why did there have to be a water area here? I mean, really? Really, game? Really? It really sucks how there's so many water areas in Sonic 3. And... you jump higher than Knuckles, but it's still hard to jump onto that barrel and get out of the water area. It's pretty easy to have a difficult time with it. But it's like, the water area in Angel Island Zone isn't a problem. You're barely even there. And I don't think there is water in the level coming right after this, but it's not a water area in the sense that you're walking along it. It's more like a bottomless pit, so it doesn't really count. But still, there's water in every level in Sonic 3 except Marble Garden Zone, and I don't really think that's very fun, you know? Hold up to make it go up, and then hold down to make it go down. And then you just keep making it go up, and then down, and then up, and then down, and it'll start rising higher and falling farther. This stumped a lot of players when they first played the game, and some people rage quit the game and never went back to it because they didn't bother to ask anybody how to work it or look up a guide. Using the insta-shield on those spike ball shooting enemies will kill them pretty easily. If you jump on them, it's pretty likely that you'll get launched upwards. And yeah, this really takes you out of it. I mean, there's an invisible wall there, so that you can't jump at Knuckles. I mean, I would have liked... it would have been a lot more... There's a bubble shield to the right of me that I missed. And you can use a bumper to get that bubble shield. And spin dashing here will make it a lot more likely that you'll end up not getting hit by the electricity and destroy all the enemies. I just hate the water area in this area. Like, this is easily one of my least favorite water areas in all of the classic Sonic games. I think I'd rather play Labyrinth Zone than this. Even if this is a lot faster than Labyrinth Zone. It's really easy to get crushed here as well. And there's no checkpoint anywhere at all. Like, if you die here, then you have to go all the way back to the section where Knuckles makes the water appear. And I just wish I had the satisfaction of being able to jump into Knuckles. Especially if he actually reacted to it. But instead, there's an invisible wall there. And it's weird that you can move during the cutscenes. A lot of the cutscenes, you're forced to just stand still like a dope. And yeah, that's something I haven't talked about yet, is the cutscenes in this game. Now, Sonic CD was technically the first Sonic game to have cutscenes, because it had FMVs. It had animated intros and endings. They weren't cutscenes that took place in the actual gameplay. It's like, you know how the games today have CG cutscenes that have a lot better graphics that they save for special occasions. And then they have regular cutscenes with in-game models and they don't look as good. Yeah, that section's kind of tricky. You gotta make sure that you are going upwards with the last pillar. And it's kind of hard to make it so that you're going upwards. I just hate those things, even if you do go really fast on them. Yeah, there's no way around using the barrel for this. And if you're not careful, you can get crushed on the ceiling above you. So you gotta jump off it at the right time. It's easy to get worried that the barrel will come down and crush you. But yeah. And I love the balloons of this place. I love how fast they send you upwards. And they send you upwards so far. I love that. the black things, when they're horizontal, they make you go really fast. I love that. I like this more than Casino Night Zone. A lot more. Even if it takes way too long, and its music sounds like the stereotypical carnival music. I mean, it's remixed enough that it feels original enough that I can forgive it. But the PC version of this game, the Sonic and Knuckles collection, it had a completely original track for this that didn't sound at all like stereotypical carnival music, and I actually like that a lot better. It makes me smile hearing it. I'll be showing that off in an extra video. Yeah, this section is annoying, and I wouldn't have been down here if those cheap Bat Badniks hadn't knocked me down. This game has some cheap Badniks and some cheap enemy placement, but it's not nearly as bad as in Sonic 2. Although, again, enemy placement was not what ruined that game for me. It was more that the levels weren't fast enough and the platforming wasn't satisfying enough to make up for it. That was my biggest complaint. Sonic 3 Knuckles has bad enemies and enemy placement too, but it's not nearly as glaring. And the levels are generally fast and fun enough to make up for that. But yeah, the problem I have with the cutscenes in this game is that you're forced to watch them every time you replay the level. Like, when you beat the game, then you can select any level you want. And I just hate how you're forced to watch the cutscene. You're forced to watch the cutscenes every time you play the level. There's no option to skip them. Not even Sonic 3 Complete, where you can only skip one cutscene. Yeah, that boss is kind of annoying in the first playthrough. It's easy to die to it. Just take advantage of the insta-shield and keep on jumping away from it when it summons the electricity that attracts you to it. And the really annoying thing about the boss is that it can drop the green ball off screen. He goes to get that ball off screen and then he disappears from the boss fight and you can't complete it. I saw that happen on Slowflake's playthrough of the game. He wasn't able to beat the boss because the boss despawned because it threw the ball off screen and went off screen to get it. This is the first ice level to appear in a 2D Sonic game. Technically, the first ice level in Sonic history appeared in a trackball arcade game exclusive to Japan called Sega Sonic the Hedgehog, which made the already slippery controls even worse. But Ice Cap Zone is still the first ice level for regular Sonic games, and it's really iconic for that. A lot of people's favorite level. And it's my favorite level as well. Or at least Act 2 anyway. Act 1 is a lot more of a puzzle level. I don't know how you're supposed to know that you can spin dash through that thing to make it go lower. It doesn't have a very clear visual indication like a crack in it. You've got these things that can freeze you solid. And it's not like you can prevent yourself from losing rings from them either. They're not like the ice planes in Sonic CD. How are ice planes even possible? Ah well, it's magic. I mean, this is a world full of magical stuff, so I can accept crazy things. As long as they're not people acting completely illogically, then I'm okay with it. So yeah, you have to spin dash into these things. And it's annoying because sometimes you don't jump with enough horizontal momentum. You don't jump high enough getting out of them to get to the next area, and you'll just hit the ceiling. It's a good idea to rev up your spin dash a lot when going into those things. This is more of a puzzle level than anything, because you have to figure out exactly what to do, and it's not really about platforming or speed. I hate the slides because while they are fast, it would be a lot faster being allowed to roll into a ball on the slopes. But instead, you're stuck in the stupid animation. Yeah, I got really impatient here. It's just jumping a little to the right and then back onto the platform to make it so that the icicles fall down. And then you jump over to them. It feels Mario-esque. It's kind of boring. Yeah, this level vertically wraps around itself infinitely. So what you've got to do to progress is push this platform and stand on it, and it'll go down and then break through that. If you keep going down in the level, then you'll just vertically wrap and go to the northmost part of the level. And it's weird looking at actual maps of the levels in Sonic 3 Knuckles, because there's a lot of screen wrapping involved in order to make a level as big as these levels are possible on a 16-bit game. And that's why you've got the screen wrapping glitch. I hate this part of the level with every fiber in my being. You have to hit the spring and then immediately jump at exactly the right time so that you get over there. I hate that part of the level. Again, you fall down and then you constantly have to backtrack. And it's not like the level would be impossible to progress with if they didn't have that spring there on the left. It's just bad level design. This is a nice change of pace. Like you get onto it and then it breaks. And I love this part. I don't like either of the bosses of Ice Cap Zone. I hated the boss of Metropolis Zone. So why did they have to bring it back twice? Because this isn't the only time in this game you're going to be fighting something like this. It's really hard to tell what exactly is a safe opportunity to jump into him. Just take advantage of the Insta Shield, and take advantage of the fact that you have Mercy Invincibility. Although the annoying thing is that when you're flashing with Mercy Invincibility, then sometimes the rings will fall through you instead of you collecting them. Which really sucks. It feels like the ring physics got even worse. But yeah, this is one of my favorite levels in the game. To the point where I got here in Sonic 3 complete and I made a save state so I could come here whenever I want without having to replay Act 3 again. Or Act 1 again. Thank God they don't have Act 3s. This game is long enough as it is. It's annoying how you have to jump into ice and break it though, because yeah, you have to hold down when you're going through these loops so that you'll break through all the floor. I just love how fast this is. And you land on these things and hold A when you're falling down towards them, and they'll bounce you higher. And these are a nightmare to get through when you have Sonic and Tails mode. Because Tails will land on them at a second's delay from you. And that can screw things up for you. I think this level, well, I like how fast they launch you, but you have to land on them multiple times in order for them to launch you high enough. So it feels like they slow down the pace of the level, and I really would prefer if the level didn't have these stupid trampolines. It feels like just a gimmick for the sake of a gimmick. And there's a lot of breakable ice here, and sometimes it really feels like it doesn't contribute anything positive at all, because you just have to break the ice, and it wastes a few seconds of your time because you break the ice and then you get the item. Sometimes there's breakable ice that doesn't actually contain anything in it, like a breakable ice at the very start of the level. I hate that, because it means that you can't just spin dash to the right the instant the level starts, because the breakable ice will stop you. It's also really easy to get crushed here. And at the very beginning of the level, there isn't any checkpoints until over a minute in. So you die and you have to go through the level all over again, and that can be really frustrating. And a lot of people love the music of this level. I think that it has too much build-up. It takes too long to get to the really good part. I mean, the really good part is perfect. It perfectly suits an ice level. But I think that the build-up is extremely boring and underwhelming, and the PC version of this song is really great. It makes me smile, even if the beginning parts of it are too high-pitched. I like both versions of this track. I hate this boss because it can constantly freeze you, and even if you try to memorize this pattern so that you know exactly where the ice flames are going to show up, it's still going to throw you for a loop because it doesn't keep its pattern. I constantly get frozen by that boss over and over again. Next, we'll be going through Launch Base Zone. See you then.